We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Rafino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Did you really think? Did you really think that in all of the changes that college football is going through, transfer portal, NIL, whatever it may be, did you really believe that Brian Kelly and Scott Woodward and the LSU boosters, legislators, and governor did not have a plan to be ready for NIL so that LSU football would succeed? Did you really believe that the day had come that LSU football was going to sit back on their heels and let everybody else run wild in the wild, wild west of NIL, and they didn't have a plan? If you missed it today, the legislature in the state of Louisiana has passed a bill changing NIL, some things that will change. Coaches can help enact and do things in NIL that they previously couldn't do, like what A&M could do. And the governor, more than likely, 1,000%, that bill's not going to get to the governor's desk, I would assume, and that thing is not going to get signed, and NIL isn't going to be changed inside of the state of Louisiana. All I've been hearing over and over and over again was that Scott Woodward and Brian Kelly were behind. The foolish nature of people who don't understand what goes on in the legislature or in everyday politics, you really thought that they would allow it to happen. I'm not a political show, nor will I ever be. But in this case, when there's nothing geopolitical about NIL, you can have your opinion if it's good for college football. That's not politics. That's nor red nor blue. We will be talking about that tonight in the Rafino's Rants, telling you some things that I've heard about what LSU's plan is and what they're willing to do. You thought that this was a joke. Brian Kelly and Scott Woodward never anticipated and thought that it was a joke. Did you believe Scott Woodward would go and pay a coach $100 million and LSU would raise over $40 million in a fiscal year, and last year, plus the $50 million that they got from the SEC, and they were going to do everything that they could to win a natty? We will talk about that, I promise you. We do got a lot more, though. We didn't get to the SEC meetings recap. Scott Woodward with the quote of the night, or quote of the week. Calling, if you missed it, on the Paul Feinbaum show, Scott Woodward called Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban two hillbillies from West Virginia. It was glorious, but we will talk about that. Oh. We are still going around your SEC, AYS, around your SEC. Mike Yuva, my good buddy Mike, will be joining us at 7:30 Central Time to talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks. We will talk SEC. We're not going to just focus on the Gamecocks. We will talk LSU. We'll talk the entire SEC with Mike at 7:30. Jamie Arrington, who does a really good podcast for Southern Miss. We're going to Hattiesburg. We're going to the Pete. And we are going to talk LSU and Southern Miss. A little bit of a rivalry taking place here. I see you. Tickets are sold out. It looks like it's going to be an LSU takeover. Is all I'm saying. But I'm looking forward to talking to Jamie Arrington at 7:50. So we got a lot to get into. Got a lot to get into. Okay. No producers tonight. Where, oh, where has Pooh Bear gone? Why hasn't Zach shaved his beard? I'm producerless. Let me say this very quickly. If you're ever going to run a business, you better be able to do everything that your employees can. Because I say employee, your people can. But Pooh Bear and Zach, they have their own podcast. They're part of us. You know what I'm saying. You got to be able to do what you can do. Pooh Bear's fantastic. I love him. I love him to death. All right, let's get this thing started. Let's pay some bills around this thing. Y'all know I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean. Pooh Bear, and then we'll be joining us, I'm sure, tomorrow. The Golden Boot Pod does have a podcast tomorrow, I think at 8:15, so that's going to be really fun. Okay, let's pay some bills around this thing. Everybody do us a favor by hitting like and share. So many of you listen to us on Facebook. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit the share to your Facebook groups. Share to your Facebook groups. Share to your social media pages. I want to see more of you sharing to your social media pages. I want all of you to hit the like button, hit the share to your social media pages. It only takes you 2 seconds. Please do it for a player. If you're listening to us on YouTube, there's about 60 to 70 of you listening to us live right now. Only 18 likes. I need you guys to hit that like button. Hit that like. Helps us with the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. If you're listening to us on XM Radio or you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, subscribe, leave that review. Helps us out a lot. All right, let's get this thing started. Let's pay some bills. None better than our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons and Betonline.ag. Back in a minute 30. Our partners over at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas, casino, and poker games. It's easy to get started, so head on over to their website. Use betonline.ag. Use that promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. That's BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag. Betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Rafino sent you on by. I was sitting down today when I heard the news. Oh, and let me say this. Let's get this thing rolling, y'all. I have been slacking with that. I have been slacking. Yes, I have. Let's get this thing started, y'all. So let's go. We'll get to a couple comments. I put some of them up. Doug Knows says preach. BK Takeover says Rafino's Rants. Yeah, we got one coming. It's right now. Nurse Court says LFG. Chris English says let's go. Kelly says let's go, Blake. Blaine Smith says I'm not going to get in between two hillbillies. Scott Woodward from the top rope. I agree. And Chris says comment of the day was Scott Woodward. Yeah, it was the comment of the day. If you missed it, Scott Woodward was on the Paul Feinbaum show, and actually I can pull it up. If you missed the audio. Hold on, let me pull it up. I can pull it up for you. It was pretty funny. He was on there, and Paul Feinbaum asked Scott Woodward about the fight between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. But the thing is Scott Woodward's really good friends with Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. If you missed it, this is what Scott Woodward had to say about Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban and their little cat fight.
Front row seat to all of the theatrics lately.
Yeah, Paul, like we were discussing, I'm not going to get in between two hillbillies fighting from West Virginia. That's a no-win situation.
A good front row seat.
So that's LSU AD Scott Woodward talking about Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. I'm not going to get in between two hillbillies fighting. It's hilarious, man. It's funny. Scott Woodward coming from the top rope. Let me say this, though, and because I hope that this puts it to rest. Brad in the comments. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. Guys, I knew what a hoochie coochie was, by the way. Like, guys, a little bit of this is entertainment. Like, come on. I know what a hoochie coochie is. A little bit of this is entertainment. I had so many people last night in my DMs. Blake, here's the definition of hoochie coochie. But that is what the hillbillies sing. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. It is. It is. Which leads me to this, though. Guys, I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to make a big deal. I'm not going to say that Scott Woodward is a LSU sports and athletics first ballot Hall of Famer. Did with name, image, and likeness, I talked about this before, in the beginning of the show just a second ago. Did you guys really believe that Scott Woodward and Brian Kelly would not have a plan to attack NIL? The legislation is getting changed inside the state of Louisiana if you missed it today. It's going to go to the governor's desk. I would guarantee I would put, $1 billion that the governor is on it, that the governor is going to sign that NIL bill, which would allow guys in recruiting, in the recruiting office, coaches, however they want to attack it, to help facilitate and do deals. LSU can now be a part of helping and facilitating NIL. Now, I don't think that they're going to be going out and getting business for the guys. I know that they have a plan. They have a strategic plan. It's probably going to be a strategic plan for every player on that team that's on scholarship. I would almost guarantee it. They're going to do what LSU has always done, and is put their – and look, they're going to put their money where their mouth is. The only thing that I continue and have always heard, Blake, you can't mess with the old money out there in Texas. Guys, with all due respect, and you're right, they are doing things that we have not seen them do. There is a collective. They are doing things, sure. The numbers that you hear that players are getting paid is not true, though. Players aren't getting paid $5, $6, $7, $8 million. When they go to compliance, do a public records request, I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you. Do it. They're a public university. Some of these guys aren't making what you think that they are, but you have to have a plan in place. A&M has always had money. It's cute. They're going to continue to get recruits through it. They're going to continue to do things. Jimbo Fisher is a good recruiter. He was a good recruiter at LSU. He's a good recruit. He was a good recruiter at Florida State. He's going to continue to be a good recruiter at Texas A&M. But LSU is not going to be left behind. There are things that limited them in the first legislation on doing things. Guys, this is new to everybody. Being behind on something that you have no guidelines on is not being behind. LSU has been known to be innovative in paying coaches, doing facilities, everything. And I guess us as a fan base assumed and believed, because we heard it from some Rudy Poo out there somewhere, that LSU was not going to get in this game and they were going to leave themselves behind. What has LSU done over the last 20 years that makes you believe, when it comes to a money standpoint, especially in football, that they were going to be left behind in anything? The fullest nature is, well, Blake, LSU's not paying players. Guys, do you think Jimbo's not facilitating things? Do you think Nick Saban's not facilitating things? Get out of here. They've always been doing it. So has LSU. When you're making a big deal about something, you better bring facts, and you better not bring Jacoby Matthews, man. Don't do it. That bill is going to get signed, and LSU is going to be off to the races. Brian Kelly has made it clear whether he succeeds or he doesn't succeed. He's here for one reason and one reason only. Championships. Does he want kids to graduate? Sure. I think if Brian Kelly, if it came down to it, he wants a natty, maybe multiple. And hell, we talked about this last night. If you missed the show last night, after tonight's show, I strongly urge you to go over to last night's show. I thought it was a really good one. Matt Trent was our guest. Really, really good show. Go listen. It's foolish to believe what some people are putting out. Use context clues, guys. Context clues. It is not and has never been that difficult to see what's going on. Guys, in a transition year, Brian Kelly had one of the best classes he's ever had. He didn't even know Will Campbell's dad's first name. The only kid that he knew really a lot about was Walker Howard, and it's because he was recruiting Walker Howard to Notre Dame. It gets aggravating, man. It gets aggravating. Daniel Williams from the Go Boot podcast says in the one of the comments, context clues are tough for some people. And I think Daniel's right. It is difficult for some people. Guys, we have to understand. We have to understand. The People's Insider has been telling you. Ain't that right, Tony Weaver? Guys, relax. Ryan Williams says now who will be deemed as boosters on the NCAA rule. Ryan, I don't know. I don't know if the NCAA has any rule. I mean, they do. They can come down on teams for doing collectives. But when you have a state law saying that they can do something else, state law will trump NCAA law. LSU, hypothetically, if they got popped, if A&M got popped, Alabama got popped with anything NIL related, they will sue the shit out of the NCAA and win. Because the truth is that would probably go to their own court in the state of Alabama, and they will win. Same in LSU, et cetera, et cetera. State law is state law. Now, I agree there has to be uniformity. Now, if you missed this, God bless it, what's his name? From Sports Illustrated. Ross Dellinger put this out a second ago. Greg Sankey, he spoke with Greg Sankey. Let me read this to you very quickly. He says, it's quite clear from discussions with SEC administrators in this news conference that Greg Sankey, this is from Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger again, that there are plenty more hurdles before presidents and ADs vote on the scheduling model, and he would continue to go on about NIL. Let me find that tweet, though, because I want to read it. I think it's a pretty big one about NIL. Here it is. He said, Ross Dellinger tweeted this about an hour ago. SEC lawyers are exploring ways that the league could provide interconference oversight on NIL, Greg Sankey says. The league is, at least for now, waiting on, and in quotations, the application of the interim NIL guidelines from the NCAA. See, the NCAA is just giving guidelines, guys. At this point, it's guidelines, and they're going to let the conferences dictate those guidelines and govern those guidelines. Sounds good. Do it. Thank you. And Greg Sankey's going to probably put the hammer down about things in recruiting. You can facilitate things for guys that's on campus, not in recruiting. And I'm assuming all over conferences will do that because the one thing that they will agree on is they want uniformity on this. That's the one thing that all of these ADs and these commissioners agree on. They've all were at a panel. They didn't agree on one thing. The only thing that all of them agreed on is that there has to be uniformity of NIL. Cheating and doing, and it's not really even cheating, doing things that other states can't do is not being ahead when you can't do them. Guys, there were no guidelines. Say they're behind. I don't really care at this point anymore what you say, because the governor is going to sign that damn bill, and Brian Kelly has a plan. He had a plan when he went and got an offense and defensive coordinator. He had a plan when he got Frank Wilson. Everybody loved it when Frank Wilson got rehired. I was under the impression, too, that LSU would never sign another DB or get another DB commit from anywhere in the country ever again, because Coy Raymond wasn't here. And the only freaking thing that they're doing is going out of state and getting top 150 recruits to come to LSU. They have a plan. Whether you don't, just because you don't know about that plan yet, doesn't mean that things aren't structured and ready to go. As was said in one of the best movies of all time, and let me take my headphones off for this. Woosah. RELAX. Relax, man. Huge news for the state of Louisiana today. Absolutely freaking massive. I don't speak in a lot of I try not to speak in a lot of confirmation or I try to sometimes be general. Now, we're going to do things, and hopefully in the mid-June, you will see what we're doing, and I don't have to do that anymore. And you can go to places and stuff that we hear and we have, you can go and see it. We're waiting for that to all come out. I don't like speaking in generalities. But, guys, why do you think I've been beating this drum for so long? Because all I hear, either on this show, DMs, Twitter Spaces, other clips that you send me from other shows, they can have their opinion. I support everybody having their opinion. You think maybe I don't. I promise you I do, because this little microphone right here gives me my voice and a freedom of speech that the First Amendment allows me to do. Have at it. But when I came out Sunday as an example and said that two other teams weren't going, Louisiana teams from Louisiana weren't going to be with LSU going to Hattiesburg, when I speak in that firm of a tone, did you think I was just making it up? Things are fine, man. Relax. All right, Mike Yuva is going to be joining us in about 3 minutes. Dylan Allen asked about Noah Cain. I believe he's on campus yet, and I think Dylan asked about that last night. I forgot to check on that today. I believe he is. He was graduating, though, from Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. He was graduating. I'll check on that, though. I'll check on that. I haven't asked. Father Aber says LSU baseball has the third best odds to win the College World Series at plus 180. Father Aber, you know that those people try to take money. LSU can win it, man. They can win it, but I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Tony Weaver, Doe Beasy, says the champ is here, and he says that's facts. That's all we speak around here. Ryan on YouTube says, wait, let me rephrase that. What do you need to rephrase? I don't know how to say that. Blake Schilling says NCAA football for PS5 now. I would dig it. And guys, if these kids sign up, if these student athletes sign up for them to be on a video game, they're going to get paid for it. just like how guys do in MLB The Show, just how guys do in the NFL with Madden. Shout out to Madden, though, by the way. If you missed it today, they're coming out with their new cover. It was the first ever Madden game. It's the same exact cover since John Madden's passing. Shout out to EA Sports for doing that. Shout out. They're huge. That's amazing. I love it very much. PCG says this is boring. Then leave. You can think it's boring, but let me tell you something, though, PCG, that you're not going to think is boring, because I remember very vividly that you were one of the same guys in here bitching, moaning, and complaining about NIL and LSU. Oh my God. Then leave. Leave then. But don't you dare come up in here and complaining about it. And then when something, see, this is what happens with LSU fans. Now, PCG, if this is not what you're talking about, please then allude to it. But this is how some LSU fans act. If things aren't negative, then you don't want to hear about it. Shame on you. Ryan says Bad Boys 2, the Woo side. Yeah, it's Bad Boys 2. Fantastic movie. Chris Brown. I think this is Golden Boot Podcast Chris Brown, but he says, Tony, you too old to have a name like that. God damn. God dang. I mean, how old do you think that Tony is? I mean, Tony's in his mid-50s. Tony's that guy that goes out to a local basketball court and starts dribbling in between his legs. Hey, who got next? Tony, you know I love you. God, that was funny. He was funny. Dylan Allen says, got my weekend pass for the regional. Okay. He says, I have a feeling it's going to be an LSU takeover. I agree with that. We will be there Saturday. And like I said, I'm going to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going to have one beer in this hand. Miller Lights. Pause. Double fisting. Pause. It's going down this weekend, y'all. No media in this thing. Straight fanboydom. All right, we got to get to Mike Yuva. I can't leave my boy Mike hanging. All right, we're going around your SEC. And we're going to talk to Mike about the SEC. The SEC meetings just wrapped up. We'll talk a little South Carolina with him. We're going around the SEC, cover South Carolina. You know, him and his best friend, Marcus Lattimore. Bro, that him and Marcus, I listened to a podcast today. That's some good shit. I like my man Yuva. I like him a lot. Then we'll talk all things SEC and college football. Okay. We do got to pay some bills, though, around this thing. Let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco and my good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. But let me mention my good friend John Patton over at GMFS Mortgage. 225-614-1234. If you're buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage you have now, or even doing a cash out refi, the timing has never been better, guys, with the interest rates the way that they are right now. Give him a call today and let him know that your good friend Blake Rafino sent you on by. Again, 225-614-1234. Tell him AYS sent you by. All right, let's talk about Gramco, and let's talk about our good friend over the Drake Williams Law Firm. Guys, we'll be back in a minute 30. Guys, I've got to talk to you about our good friends over at Gramco. They are the Delta 8 company based out of the state of Florida. They're founded by college football junkies just like you and I am not sure if you're familiar with Delta 8, but you need to be. Gramco is the absolute leader in this field, and they have phenomenal products that I just need to tell you about. First off is the Wake and Bake coffee that is absolutely spectacular. The gummies are as well, as they're the best in the market. So go to thegramco.com right now and use the promo code AYS25. That's thegramco.com, AYS25 promo code to get 25% off of your order. Jump on this fast, as it is perfect for holidays, anniversaries, and everyday use. Gramco is hemp-derived and completely legal inside of the state of Louisiana. No medical card is needed, and shipping is very discreet. You must be 21 years older to order. Again, that's thegramco.com. Use that promo code AYS25. Guys, by the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Rafino at AYS sent you on by. We're back. Man, the myth, the legend, he's back. Mike Yuva. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Blake?
I got to ask you this. As a man from Boston,
Yep.
I'm assuming you're a Celtics fan, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not all my Boston teams. I got my Bruins cup actually next to me right now.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. How many games is it going to take Golden State to win?
Oh,
I'm messing. Mike, don't leave. I'm just playing around. It's going to be a good series, though, man. It's going to be a great series.
Look, I don't expect anyone to feel bad for a Boston guy. I mean, yes, we're going through an extremely difficult 3-year title drought. I've only seen 12 championships in my lifetime in all Boston professional sports. So, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, 12's not that much. I mean, it's been tough. You know, there are babies right now in Massachusetts hospitals that have never seen a Boston team win. I mean, think about that. You know, next time you see one of those commercials, you know, in the eyes of the angels, and they want you to donate like 10 cents or whatever for a cup of soup. Think about those children in the hospital in Boston that have never seen a Boston team win the championship. Hopefully, in a couple weeks from now, they will be able to see a Boston team win, and we can do that for other sports too. But of course, it's gonna be tough for the Patriots.
Yuva, we got baby 6 weeks old, and they've never seen a Boston team win it. I mean, it's a damn shit. What are y'all doing with yourselves? I don't know. Okay, but we're not here to talk about Boston. But
no,
I'm going to tell you, I threw a little coin on Boston today. Now,
attaboy.
I throw a little coin. I'm rooting for him. Look, Steph Curry might be a chef, but he ain't going to be one here in Louisiana this week. I'll tell you that. Mike Yuva, who covers South Carolina, as our guest, will let him tell you everywhere you can catch all of his content here at the end. Mike, I got to ask you, man, Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban, SEC meetings this week. Is there anything that caught your eye? And I guess, what are you just thinking about the whole landscape of the SEC now, currently, right now?
I mean, I wasn't expecting anything crazy to happen down in Destin. I mean, the best way to describe it is Greg Sankey is the parent in the front seat. And he pulled the car over and said, "All right, you two in the back, like, cut it out. All right, like, you're done. All right, you're not gonna be able to compete in any sporting events. No ice cream. You lost your TV privileges. You just gotta shut the hell up." Like, that's what I got with everything that we heard. Now, you know, if you want to diagnose it as to what was the motives, and I've said this, I feel like the motive for Nick Saban is that he was just trying to get his boosters riled up. That he was trying to send a message as to, hey, look, we appreciate everything you've done over the last couple of years, last couple of decades, and just the support that Alabama football fans show. But at the same time, too, the landscape is changing, and we're going to have people donate money like never before, because there's going to be opportunities out there for some of these other schools, not just in the SEC, but across the landscape. And when we talk about oil money that'll be coming in, Texas, and Oklahoma coming in soon, you're going to have to deal with hurdles that you've never faced before from the SEC. So regardless of, you know, hey, look, Alabama, Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest of all time, what have you done for me lately? And you have to realize, like, hey, look, Georgia's coming off a national championship. The SEC is only going to get stronger. This was an opportunity for him to send a message. Of course, in hindsight, I'm sure he would have said, okay, maybe I could have said things a little bit differently. But at the same time, too, Nick Saban just is one of the most calculated coaches, maybe outside of Bill Belichick when he's in front of the camera. He knows what the hell he's saying. He knows every time he's in front, whatever he says, however he says it, it's going to set the tone for his team. And in this case, maybe not the exact way he anticipated the reception, but the message was loud and clear because we're still talking about it.
So let me ask you, I mean, Shane Beamer being in his second year, I thought he pulled a rabbit out of his hat with being able to get Spencer Rattler and doing some things he did in recruiting in the transfer portal. How are things, though, for South Carolina from an NIL perspective? You know, like, how are things going there? Look, South Carolina has a very big, passionate fan base, right? And so how are they been able to react, and how are things going there with all of this landscape changing?
I think the challenging part right now is you're in a situation where you have a fan base that for a while has just been disconnected with the football team. And that's not saying everyone, but a lot of people were upset with how things played out during the Will Muschamp era. And because of that, you have to win them back. I think what Shane was able to do in year one, he certainly was able to do that to an extent. But even though it's been only 1 year, I keep saying this over and over, I still feel like we're in the honeymoon phase with USC. So you have 7 wins. You have that bowl win. That's fantastic. You're able to pick up guys like Spencer Rattler, Antoine Wells Jr., who was one of the top FCS receivers in all of college football last year from James Madison's third all time in some of these categories. He was only there for 2 seasons, only 22 games. So you were able to pick up a lot of key pieces in addition to Austin Stogner, tight end coming in from Oklahoma. And you can keep going down the list. But what happens now in year 2? What happens now? So I think we're seeing donors step up a little bit. We're seeing opportunities like Spencer Rattler pick up car dealership opportunities and this and that. But at the same time, too, in comparison to maybe some of these other schools, you really haven't had the star-driven name at USC over the last couple of years. Not to the point where it's like, okay, hey, look, I'm going to throw everything at them. I mean, yeah, maybe a sandwich deal or this or that. I think, and it might surprise people outside of South Carolina, outside of Spencer Rattler, the players that are generating the most money on campus is the women's basketball team, starting with Aaliyah Boston, who was the National Player of the Year last year and obviously the defending national champs. So women's basketball is really seeing a lot of money. She just signed an NIL deal with Under Armour, and they're going to be actually going down to the Virgin Islands where she's a native of, and they're going to be throwing a camp this summer. So you're not seeing that necessarily in the same, realm as football right now at USC, but at the same time too, you need to prove that you're a hot commodity. We saw it last year with a guy not too far away from South Carolina at Clemson in DJ Uiagalelei. Bojangles came in, Dr. Pepper came in, didn't have the type of year that I think a lot of people expected him to have. So I think from an NIL standpoint, you're going to see people step up, but you have to prove to them that you deserve it. You'll have little things, but in terms of like some of the bigger deals we're seeing across the country, it's still lacking right here in South Carolina.
Probably the funniest commercial I've ever seen an athlete do. It was DJ Uiagalelei with the Dr. Pepper. I drink Dr. Pepper. I mean, Mike, come on, dude. That's pretty funny, right?
Anytime I see something like that, I just think of like the Happy Gilmore Subway ads, right? I have 4 of these each day, grow nice, big and strong.
Grow big and strong.
Hey, Happy, can I have one of those? Coming right up. Now, if I'm Subway, now it's been a couple of years since the whole Jared, I don't even want to call it debacle because something like that, can't even really make too much jokes about it because, it is really sad. But if I'm Subway, I go back to the roots. You know what I do? I think John Daly's son is a college golfer. He just has a kind of deal with Hooters. Bring him on board. That would be perfect. Recreate granted, you probably have to do something with, I think it was Happy Madison whatever the heck it is, Happy Madison Productions. You're going to have to probably get them on board. But the point being is, I think that'd be a phenomenal ad. Oh, it'd be great.
Oh, dude. And I think I saw on Instagram, I think his caption was something like, I really love Hooters. I love the place. I love where like coming here to eat too. And he had his arm around like two girls, like that's like the kid from Kansas last year when they beat Texas. They asked him, where do you want to go? And he goes, I'm going to Applebee's. And then he gets an NIL deal with Applebee's. I mean, that's the spirit of what.
And you're in college. And you're in college too. I mean,
right. Could you imagine taking your buddies to the two for 25, like the all you can, and you got the NIL deal? You're the king.
It's incredible. But I think, but honestly, though, I think what we're going to see is, and this is a conversation for another day. I've had these conversations. I know you mentioned Marcus Lattimore. I've mentioned this with Marcus and some of the people around USC athletics. I think what you're going to notice, right? We saw with social media. We see so many very talented social media teams out there. You see it especially with football. It's a big part of the game now, right? We see a recruit come. I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing over the next couple of years, especially football, but it can be every sport. I feel like you're going to start to see teams create departments that will be around helping NIL. I mean, they have things like that, I'm sure, but not to the point where it's an exact title, right? I mean, there's titles at South Carolina, just like I'm sure there's LSU and other schools across the country, creative media services, right? I mean, you didn't have that position 5, 10, 15, whatever the case may be. These are new positions. I feel like you will start to see that. I think that'll be a smart thing, number one. But number two, it's just an easier way to be able to pitch hey, you want to come here? We'll make sure that the compliances are there. We'll let you make sure that everything you do, you understand things. We do something like that at Gamecock Central, where I work at. We have a separate branch. It's called the Garnet Trust. We basically play the middleman. We're the facilitators. So we've done multiple interviews with student athletes to be able to connect companies to the fans, and we're able to do an interview from it. We don't see any of the money. We don't take any money off the top of it. It goes directly to the players. There's going to be times where companies reach out and say, hey, we want to do something with Spencer Rattler. Can you throw a hat on? Can you throw a shirt on? We've done that. But we've also have guys that, like today, a guy that probably no one in LSU knows, Peyton Mangrum. He walked onto the team a couple of years ago. He's a wide receiver. We get to know him a little bit more, and they're able to put a little something in their pocket. So that's one of the things we're doing in addition here in Columbia with the Garnet Trust, which is a branch of Gamecock Central.
It's so beautiful you said that, and I'm going to get off this NIL. I want to talk on the field very quickly before we get you out of here. Louisiana just passed that legislation today to be able, which is going to force Mike LSU to do that. Like literally the exact thing you just said. It got passed today. Now it'll go to the governor's office. It'll get signed and all that good stuff. But you're spot on, man. And look, you're just having the thought, and it literally happened here. It happened in Texas 6 weeks ago. Okay, so I think that you're spot on some of these things. By the way, I see the Assumption College jerseys hanging up in the back. Shout out.
We're working on the background. This side has nothing yet, and we made this side the other day, so we're still trying to add some things to it. So
shout out to your good friend, and now good friend because you introduced me, Cole Tracy. Shout out to our good friend, Mike. Let's get to this. Spencer Rattler had some issues, obviously, at Oklahoma. I don't even want to say issues, but he was a young quarterback. Okay, I don't know if he had a lot of time, but him coming from Oklahoma to South Carolina, I don't want to say he's been the best quarterback in South Carolina, maybe in a couple of seasons, but I think that you could say that he is. What is the realistic expectations for South Carolina since you got him on campus and you got some of these great transfers? Could you see South Carolina going second in the East?
I think I've been covering South Carolina since 2016. I've been covering the SEC since 2015. That was around the same time period where the wheels started to fall off for USC. Will Muschamp came in, tried to rebuild things up after Steve Spurrier decided to step down. I say all that because what I've learned in my time here is anytime USC is on the verge of being able to take that next step, it just feels like there's a big letdown. I mean, I've seen moments where it was against Kentucky, the year they went to the Outback Bowl and they beat Michigan. They had a night game. There's a lot of momentum. Deebo Samuel gets hurt, and he's done for the year. And
is that the Clowney helmet knockoff game?
This was in 2017.
Okay.
That would be this was the Outback Bowl season and the 2017-18 season, so a couple of years after Clowney. I know seems like USC plays Michigan in the Outback Bowl every 5 years. It's kind of like a part of the schedule now at this point. But I say that because there is expectations, I think, from the fan base here that are extremely high, and it should be high, absolutely. But I don't know if they're realistic until they can prove it. And that's not necessarily fair to the players. That's not necessarily fair to the coaching staff, this coaching staff. But historically, not even just during my time here, but historically, when USC has been on the verge of taking that next step, they just have not been able to capitalize. You can go all the way back to the Black Magic year, 1984. They end up losing to Navy, which kept them out of the national championship. The year they went undefeated and they lost that one game against Navy. So there's been many moments like that in time. So I think with South Carolina, look, you have a very difficult schedule early on, okay? You have to play Georgia State, but after that, you have to play at Arkansas on the road week 2. Week 3, you're back here, a noon game. It's going to be friggin' 100-something plus degrees feel like temperatures, and you got to play Georgia. If they start the year off 2-1, if they start the year off 2-1, but they beat Georgia, there's so many different ways to look at it. This team, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, the expectations go up a little bit, but at the same time, too, they could start the year 1-2 and then be able to get into a rhythm because now the offense is able to pick up, understand what they're all doing together, develop that rapport, and they could easily be able to crank out 7 wins in the regular season, if not 8. So I think this is a team that when it comes down to it, Blake, how quick are they going to be able to respond from adversity? Because it's going to hit them early on in the year. They have a very tough schedule early on. You can't hide from it. But then again, that's the SEC.
Last one for you, Mike. And look, I got to say this. I've never spent 3 hours with a man live on a show like I have done with you. And I just I'm in awe of when you break things down because I feel like I'm a little kid and you're explaining it to me. Dude, that's perfect. And I agree because, Mike, if there's we can't say South Carolina can't beat Georgia. We saw it the year before they won a national title. They have some really good players, right? They got guys on the perimeter. They got guys up front on both lines of scrimmage. Now you got to have a guy that has the quarterback at talent or talent at quarterback. Let me ask you this, though. What is the biggest strength for South Carolina and the vice versa that what is their biggest weakness going into this season?
I think the biggest strength they have is the running back room. They just have so much freaking talent. A guy that you should keep an eye on this year is going to be Marshawn Lloyd. He's coming back from an ACL injury that he tore 2 years ago. But what I remind people of, and Marcus and I have had these conversations before, but if you have lower body injuries in general, I think a lot of people just don't realize the mental toll that takes on you. So yes, physically you come back, but when you come back from one of those lower body injuries, you're just thinking so much. So every time you make a cut, you're compensating. You're right. Every time, and you saw that with him. So now, he is just an absolute freaking tank to the point where he won't even eat like a Sour Patch Kid. It's ridiculous. He's like, truly like my body is a temple kind of guy. He's so locked in. He's had numerous conversations with Lattimore over the last couple of years. He's a guy that when it comes down to it is between the fact that you got Rattler out there, quarterback, on top of just a crowded running back room, how many opportunities will he get? He has to make the most out of it. Christian Beal-Smith, another running back coming in, transfer from Wake Forest. He's been looking incredible. Very good running back. And I think that's going to be another guy to keep an eye on. They got a lot of talent in that room.
The last time a transfer, and very quickly because we got to get you out of here, but the last time a Wake Forest running back went somewhere was a guy by the name of Kenneth Walker that went to Michigan State and went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs all over Michigan. So, look, but what did you say that their biggest weakness, though, was? Is there any one big weakness that you think that this team has?
I think on the outside, more so with Gamecock fans, they're going to look at their offensive line as a weakness. To me, yes, they are, as a unit, because it's not always the offensive line. If you go back, offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield said of all the sacks allowed last season, only 14 of them were because of the offensive line, but yet USC as a whole on offense, they allowed the second most in the SEC. So I think the offensive line, is it a weakness? Maybe on paper, some people will look at it that way. They returned the entire unit, though. All 5 starters are back. So it has the opportunity to be a strength. So outside of the offensive line, I would say probably just the depth in the secondary. You're losing guys that you weren't necessarily expecting to step up. A guy like Carlin Splatell that came in from Assumption, now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jalen Foster, a walk-on safety, ends up being an All-American last year. So there's going to be guys outside of Cam Smith, who's one of the top corners going into the year on paper. You're going to have to see guys step up at that position. No question about it.
That's what makes you the GOAT. Like, you're the Tom Brady. Wait, you're a Boston guy. If I say you're the Tom Brady of something, do you get?
No, I'm trying to find something real quick for you because I think this will be cool. Keep talking. I'll see if I can.
Okay. We got Jamie Arrington is supposed to be on now. Jamie,
here it is. So I found
Jamie,
this.
we love you. Give us 2 minutes. What you got here for me?
So I'm cleaning up so much stuff in my office. My office is a dump right now. Okay, because I just moved in. Look at this thing I found. This is a 2017 Assumption football schedule with a young Deontay Harris. So I know there's a lot of Saints fans. I wonder how much this thing would go if we get Deontay to sign it. I'll have to hit him up. Look at that thing.
Yuva, you got to do a brother a favor. I'm flying you to the boot, goddammit. You're coming down to the boot. I'm boiling crawfish. You do not have. We're getting you down here, brother.
I need to go. I mean, Cole's been telling me so much, like, hey, look, and then I've had teammates that have gone down there. I've had buddies down there. They're like, LSU is just unlike anything else. So, and then
Beers on me.
Brian Kelly. Kelly's another guy I got to go down and see. I got to support BK.
I forgot about that. Your best friends were Brian Kelly.
Let's do it.
Like number 3 on your MySpace?
And I love the song Next, so let's do it. I'm ready to go.
All right. Mike Yuva, who covers South Carolina, he's the director of digital content for Gamecock Central. Buddy, you know I love you. We're going to bring you on again soon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Buddy. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, that's Mike Yuva, man. All right, we got to get to Jamie Arrington. I hope Southern Miss fans don't get mad at me. I saw Jamie and look, we did this today. I wanted a guy from Southern Miss. I wanted a guy that we could kind of talk the regional with, that we can kind of go back and forth, some funny little banter, and nevertheless, I found out my man's a comedian. I hope he doesn't roast me. Guys, the last time we brought a comedian on in this show, I have long titty nipples and all this kind of. I hope Jamie doesn't go there with me. But the one thing for sure is we are going to talk some LSU baseball and this Hattiesburg Southern Miss Regional. So stay tuned. We're going to get to a very quick break. Let us talk about our good friends over at the over at Manscaped. I'm trying to pull up the video. Talk about our good friends over at Manscaped. We'll be back in 1 minute. Jamie Arrington, Southern Miss, when we return. With the first pick in the NFL draft, Ball Saxonville has decided to pick Manscaped to stock up their Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have sponsored us and AYS to make sure that you do not get booed out of the bedroom, just like NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Support us by heading over to manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com, and use the exclusive code AYS at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that's manscaped.com. Use that promo code AYS at checkout for 20% off plus that free shipping. All right, we have our friend Jamie Arrington joining us, who is one of the hosts of To the Top Talk, who covers Southern Miss. Jamie, how are you doing tonight, man?
Blake, you're gorgeous, man. I can't roast you, dude. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you. Is it the beard? Is it the Italian? Is it the mozzarella sweat coming down off of me? What is it? What makes me so beautiful?
I think it's the patch of hair coming out the front of the snapback hat there.
I get made fun of that all the time. I got a big head, man. I
You
got a
got
big
what you
head.
do. My dad wears a size 8, so
Ooh.
yeah. But
I'm a 7 1/4. I'm not that far. I'm only 2 hat sizes
up.
away.
you're catching
I'm
up.
telling
Yeah.
you. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks
We'll
for
let
having
you
me,
know
Blake.
where you can catch all of Jamie's stuff. We're going to Hattiesburg. We're going to the Pete. LSU, Southern Miss, Kennesaw State, and Army. Man, it's going to be a fun weekend.
We get to play more baseball, man. That's what it's all about. It's gonna be a great time.
Look, I've said this, Jamie, in the last two shows that we've had, yesterday and Monday. Coach Archlander and this pitching staff is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, I could go down the list. I'm not going to exhaust our fans of hearing it again, but it's the strength of their team. And LSU obviously has maybe some would say, two guys that could go number one overall in Jacob Berry and Dylan Cruz. I think that we're heading to a matchup, if both teams win Friday night, to an ultimate clash. And look, I checked it, Jamie, right before we came on the show. Friday night sold out, and Saturday's right there. The P is going to be packed. Let me ask you this, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way because I played football at Southeastern Louisiana. Is this kind of something that Southern Miss and the Pete needed? I mean, because look, man, this is just going to be absolutely packed. Now, I don't know if the Pete packs out every week. I don't know that. Take us through that. How big is this regional for Southern Miss?
I mean, it's great. Getting to play LSU. We haven't played each other in a while. Well, haven't played each other in a few years. But really, I mean, attendance has been solid. I think we're number 11 in the country in attendance. So we have a pretty good draw. Now, just to make everybody aware, we've had some pretty big crowds this year. I think our biggest crowd was about 6,300. But for these regionals, I don't know that you can necessarily sell as many standing room only seats. So when we hosted Mississippi State in a regional a few years ago, the max was 4,300 tickets. So just prepare yourself. Now, that being said, I know that you guys are used to playing in a 10,000 seat stadium, but with the sellout, well, anything close to a sellout of it being 4,300 would be the largest crowd that the Tigers have played in front of outside of Baton Rouge in the regional. So it's still going to be a great environment. It's going to be a great time. But no, attendance has been fantastic. It's going to be amped up even more with it being two schools within 3 hours of each other. We have a lot of friends. We have a lot of the same. Some of us are rivals. Some of us are friends. We know each other. A lot of respect for the Tiger baseball program. I know this year wasn't quite what is expected, but you guys are still extremely dangerous. So, and the betting odds reflect that.
I ain't bet. I ain't doing it though. Yeah, it might reflect it. And I know Barstool Mincy. We had Mike Yuva, who was just joining us. We had Barstool Mincy on a couple weeks. I know he is doing these baseball odds. Mincy, don't you do this? Don't you dare do this to me. But yes, it's going to be fun. Now, listen. Getting on the field. I don't want. And look, social media is its own thing. I know that some of the Tiger guys said a couple things that. Obviously, they're looking to a super regional. They want to get back home if they can. And look, I understand that. I think that their words were taken a little out of context, but that's just me. Is this the best Southern Miss team, though, baseball-wise, that you can remember? Look, I have a cousin, that Clay Tajon, that played there for a couple of seasons.
Okay, yeah.
And I think he even has said that this team might be the best team that Southern Miss arguably has ever had. But take me through it. Do you believe that this is the best team that Southern Miss has had? And can they make a deep run, even getting past this regional, if they can get through LSU or any of these teams?
I think this is the best pitching staff top to bottom that we've had. I wouldn't say it's the best pitchers that we've had. Team overall, that's a bit of a stretch just with given how, the bats haven't been there consistently all year. They've been pretty solid. So I would say it's one of the best teams. How they perform in this tournament will that will go to show how good they rank. I mean, if they don't make the College World Series, that it's tough to call them the best team we've ever had.
I can agree with that. I can agree. And but look, when you look at their pitching staff, and look, I've been trying to beat this in our fans and LSU fans' head the last couple of days. It's nasty.
It's nasty.
And I think it's strength on strength, right? You got
absolutely
LSU's lineup versus this pitching staff, and it's going to be really fun. Is there anything, though, that, look, I noticed you're a big, Pelicans fan. You have some Louisiana ties here. It's going to be fun, like for me. So I'm not going as media. I'm going as a fanboy. I said that I'm pulling the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, I'm getting 2 Miller Lights. What? And hitting them together, and we're drinking them down. I think that this is going to be one of the best regionals that we've been to. Are you as excited, though, as me for this?
Absolutely. I'll tell you the first thing I'm excited about is, I know Tiger fans can be obnoxious, and that's expected.
No,
Um,
no.
I'm really grateful that it's not Mississippi Oxford or Mississippi Starkville coming to town because they just really stink up the joint. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you got two fan bases that know how to party. You got Pete Taylor Park, and we're a little behind the times compared to some parts of Louisiana, but we got beer sales legalized here about 3 years ago. So you can buy beer at the Pete in Mississippi. That's kind of bananas. But yeah, I think it's going to be a blast. Hey, and the other teams in there, Kennesaw State, they can rack. That game on Friday night with LSU and Kennesaw State, that could get to be a shootout. I mean, they have some guys that can really crank it. Their best hitter played at Mississippi State for a few years.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
Army's a scrappy team. They can. I mean, they're a scrappy team. They're one of the best team at stealing bases in the country. So there's something to be said for that. Southern Miss, 7.45 hits allowed per 9 innings. That's good for 7th in the country. LSU, 8.3 runs per game, good enough for 22 in the country. So yeah, it's going to be power versus power there. The unstoppable force against the immovable object. Which one's going to be the one to cave? It's going to be fun to watch.
Zachary, Louisiana's own Tanner Hall. Okay, I've known Tanner for a while and was kind of upset when he went to Southern Miss instead of going to LSU. That's neither here nor there, but Pulmonary, shame on you. Man, averaging around 9 strikeouts per appearance.
He is just ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. Is he the back? I don't want to say backbone of the team, but man, when you bring that guy out there, you have a shot of beating anybody. I can see that, but I've known the kid for a long time. Do Southern Miss fans see the same thing as I do? You can beat anybody when that guy's on the bump.
Really, honestly, I feel good with any of the 3 weekend starters at this point. I mean, they all do something different. Now, Tanner obviously statistically is one of the he's not going to throw the fastest, but his slider is ridiculously nasty, and it hits. It's been hitting lately. So I feel really good about Tanner. The other guys are really solid as well. The Hurston Waldrop, I mean, he regularly tops 100. I mean, there's some, and then the bullpen is just. We got to feel really good about our team given the status of the pitching staff. But Tanner Hall, really nasty. He won the what is the trophy, the Ferris Trophy, the trophy given the best collegiate player in the state, and deservedly so. You talk about on the season, 130 strikeouts versus 11 walks. That is an insane ratio.
Jamie, it's insane, dude. He's striking out 13 guys to 1 walk.
Absolutely.
That's nasty, man.
Nasty.
Shame
Absolutely.
on you, Paul. Like, come on, man. How do you not if this were football recruiting, Paul would have been in big trouble. We do have some questions firing in here for you, though, Jamie. Dylan Allen says, #AskJamie. Landon Harper is from my hometown that I live in, and his family is close with my fiance, so it's not really a question. I thought it was. But Merchant Kenny, I don't know who Merchant Kenny is, but he's been in the chat all night just trashing some LSU. But he asks, #AskJamie, when we eliminate LSU, oh goodness, do you think it's an easy ride to Omaha?
Let me tell you about Marchant Kenny, man. This dude was one of the baddest to ever play football for the Golden Eagles. When they beat the Tigers back in '94, he was the middle linebacker. He lives in Baton Rouge. He mixes it up with you guys all the time. Bad dude. I'm not getting ahead of myself on predictions, but we've only made it to Omaha once, so I can't say much about whether it's going to be an easy ride or not. I'd love to see us get back.
I agree with Aunt Marshall, but he asked you this question. He says, #AskJamie, is the Conference USA underrated as a conference? I believe that they are. And was ODU snubbed, in your opinion? I believe that they are. What says you, Jamie?
I thought so. Conference USA, I thought they were pretty strong this year. And not only ODU, I thought UTSA was getting to be a lock there with how they closed the season. I mean, they had some of the best bats that we saw all year. Now, that being said, this is our last year in Conference USA, and I think the Sun Belt is going to be a ridiculously entertaining baseball. Conference in all sports, but adding us into the mix with the teams that are in the Sun Belt, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be crossing through there, going to battle with the Cajuns from here on out. But yeah, Conference USA, very, very solid baseball conference. The tournament was a knockdown drag out. And yeah, I did think that both ODU and UTSA were very deserving to get in.
What should I do when I get to the Berg? Now I'll be with some Southern Miss guys, but I bought tickets. I'm making them sit on the what we would think and hope is the LSU side. What's the tailgating like out there? I heard it was pretty rowdy. I heard y'all can get pretty nuts out there with some tailgating stuff. What should some LSU fans expect?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And really, when I think of tailgating, we've got the right field roost, which is inside the park. It's fans. You pretty much get these handed down. I mean, if you get a roost spot, you have got to hang on to it. So we're out there in usually at roost spot 39. So if you get out there, Blake, come by and say what's up. But it's a great time out there. A lot of friendly folks out there. Really a great and unique atmosphere to watch college baseball. Now, if you're out and about the city of Hattiesburg looking for something to do, Keg and Barrel, great spot to visit. One of the best beer bars in the country. Great food. Crescent City Grill, kind of right there in the middle in the mix. We have some Baton Rouge favorites in town. If you want to go to Cane's or Walk-Ons, I think we're getting the Slider restaurant.
Just got to Cane's too, by the way, right?
It's been around for a while,
okay.
But they needed to move to a bigger spot. So I think it's the biggest Cane's in the country, actually.
That's what I thought. I heard it was something like that. And then the Walk-Ons is relatively new too, right?
Yeah, Walk-Ons is relatively new, a few years old, probably 2019, I would think.
I love it. So it's 39. Well, look, I'm coming. Look, I'm 6'3", 290 pounds of strong steel and sex appeal.
Jesus.
And we're coming. We're coming. Okay.
Let's dance.
All right,
we're ready.
I got one last question for you, Jamie. This is something interesting. Former NCAA, NFL, NHL mascot. Take me through that. So you were a mascot in all three levels of the game?
Yeah, I was at Southern Miss. Then I went to the NFL to a team in Illinois. Then I went to the NHL to a team in Arizona. So I had an absolute blast doing that. I'll tell you, let's see, what's a good story? Okay, I can give you a great story. If you go to YouTube and you look up mascot fight, the mascot fight that I had with the mascot at the University of Alabama is one of the first things that pops up. Now, we were roommates in the summer. So we roomed together, we were buddies, and we blocked out. It's a WWE style fight. Like I hit him with a stunner, he throws me through the kicker's net. But all in all, we did like $600-700 worth of damage. Like we broke the Alabama kicker's net in the middle of the game. Like they couldn't use it anymore. We broke a cheerleading megaphone.
No.
He had to go apologize to Coach Francione. Nothing happened to me. Like my administration is like, whatever. We didn't even see it. So you can go look up that fight on YouTube, and it's a great time.
This is so great. So like, did you do like the Stone Cold? Did you go like what? Like did you give him all that too, or what? When you hit him with the stunner,
it was more like a eagle sound. No, I don't know. I didn't make any noise of that. But no, that was the first thing I did. I flipped him around, kicked him in the stomach, grabbed him by the trunk, I guess, and went down. So that's the first move in there.
All right, last question. I promise.
Yeah.
Did you hit him with the people's elbow after that? Did you go? It's just a mouth. Did you hit him with the people's elbow?
I got hit with the rock bottom, and then he jumped off of some kind of stand or whatever, and yeah. So I got hit with the elbow. He got hit with the stunner. I think I did get him with the pedigree though. So
Triple H. We're big 90s, early 2000s WWE fanboy over here. I love it. Jamie, look, I will be there Saturday. We're coming to number 39. We're going to be there. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a great regional, but you've been a fantastic guest, a fantastic host. Thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can catch all your podcasts and everything that you're doing.
Hey, look at To the Top Talk. We just did our episode kind of previewing the regional this week. To the Top Talk on all the social media platforms. I'm on the social media platforms as well, Jamie_Arrington, but all my Southern Miss stuff is on the To the Top Talk platforms on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast, we'll be on there.
Thank you so much for joining us, man, and we'll see you Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday. Come find me, Blake.
All right, will do. That's Jamie Arrington. Man, I got to tell you, dude, I love these guests, man. I love these guests. I really, really, really do. It's been a fun episode. No producers, though. No producers. And we're about an hour and 13 in. I'm telling you, man, the show just keeps going longer and longer. Before you know it, I promise you it's going to be 2. It's going to be 2. All right, let me say this before we get out of here. I think I see Danny's question. I think I accidentally missed Danny's question, though. But she says, hashtag Ask Jamie, do you always bring your minions to troll other fans, LOL, and do you carry a bucket with you when they're tears when they lose? Wow. Yikes. Yikes. Merchant says SMTTT, baby. Does that mean never mind. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one alone. All right, guys, it's been a fantastic episode. It's been a fantastic night. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Who I think is joining us. But I know that Chris Hilton will be joining us tomorrow. I think we're going to get another guest, guys. We're going to be continuing to get these guests and continuing to put out content. But until then and until tomorrow, we will see you guys soon. Y'all have a good night. Peace out, Girl Scouts.